Andrea and I just got back from an amazing couple of weeks in the Philippines. Can't wait to talk about it today. Also, big night, 180 students out for See Ya After the Pole this year and more. It's going to be a good podcast. Thanks for listening. Guys, welcome to the Joplin and Andrea podcast. It's been a little bit since our last one. We try to get one out every month, but during the summer months with all the mission work we do, it can be difficult. So anyways, we just got back from the Philippines, had an amazing time there. We'll talk a little bit about that here later. But first, Andrea?
We're excited to be here. We like this. This is fun. We like being able to share with you guys. So, we're here. We're going to talk See You After the Pole. We just hosted a See You After the Pole, which if you don't know, nationwide, there is a See You at the Pole hosted at the school once a year. It's usually in September. We're student-led, and all the students are encouraged to come and pray for one another, their country, their school, or on the flagpoles. And so we hosted a See You After the Pole at the well, and we had just an abundance of kids turn out. It was amazing. We had I can't even say enough great things about it. So that was just last night.
Yeah, we had like 180 students come. It was amazing. It definitely exceeded our expectations. I think we had 8 churches that brought in youth groups last night. And it was awesome. Awesome to see that many kids coming together to worship. Awesome to see that there is a movement happening in our high school and middle school youth students, and awesome to see churches working together. All that was great, and the service was great. We had a lot of fun. It was a very good time, and I was blessed.
Yeah, we had a blast. It was amazing, and I can't think of a more important time than right now to be. We need to always be training our kids, but you look at the environment that we're living in and how things are just continuing to get worse and worse and worse. And I can't think of a more important time right now to invest in our students and the community and try to get our kids equipped for life. So.
Yeah, I believe that our young people are intelligent. And I think that a lot of them are coming to see that the world they've been brought up in and is not helpful, and that a lot of the things that they have been promised, even if it was just kind of like subconsciously being brought up, go do what you want. Life is all about you. You always come first, and consume mentality. I think a lot of our young people are starting to see, even at a young age, that it's empty. And there's a real hunger for truth. They've been growing up in the last 10 years where generally at their schools and the public sector around us is telling them you can't know what's true and everything's subjective and whatever you feel is true. And they're waking up to the reality that's not true. And I think kids are hungry for someone to say, this is truth, these are facts, and this is information you can bank your life on. And there's nowhere more important to find those details and those facts than in Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So amazing event. Amazing to see everybody come together. Quick testimony. I heard one of the girls yesterday. She shared with me that See You at the Pole was really awesome for her because she said there were students that came out from her school, and she said she really didn't even know that they were Christians. And so being able to see them worshiping God and them praying to God was really neat because it just put them on a connection of a whole different level. And so these events, these different things, they really do, God uses them. So it's awesome. Super, super awesome. Speaking of awesome, there's a new young adult ministry that is just launched this month, September. Last Sunday was their first time, and it's called The Collective, and it is being hosted by Adam and Megan Leitner out of Wichita, and it's awesome. It's super awesome. They had their first event Sunday.
Yeah.
And I heard great feedback. Great feedback. So...
Yeah, I'm excited about this as well. I just see God bringing the church together in a lot of ways. Definitely big fan of Adam and his wife Megan. In fact, the Well Worship Center, when we started in 2006, Adam was one of our founding members. He was our original worship pastor. And God eventually called him into Wichita and opened up a door for him to be in full-time ministry at the West Evangelical Free Church. Him and his wife have been there for several years now, have a fantastic ministry there. He leads worship, but also leads their college-age ministry. And Adam called me about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago at this point, and shared with me this idea of, they're calling it the collective, because it's meant to be a collective effort of all the college students and student ministries in the Wichita surrounding area. Right now, they're just going to get together once a month and worship. And I think primarily that is the thrust of it. It's getting together to worship, certainly some time of hanging out and some fun and fellowship. And I believe probably devotion, a little something of that nature, but it's primarily worship driven. And I just think it's fantastic. Shout out to Adam and the people putting this on. And if you happen to be a college age student, 18, 24.
18 to 29, I think is what it's.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If you happen to be in that age range, this is something you need to be getting involved in. It's only once a month, but I think it's going to be a really fantastic thing.
Yeah, I do too. And, I have talked to more and more young adults that say it's really hard to connect with like-aged kids, students, and that it's really hard to find, maybe even a boyfriend or a girlfriend or somebody you might even consider. But I was thinking how amazing this opportunity is for them to get to know other peers, get to know other people who are the same walks of life, the same, age frame that they're at. And so what an amazing opportunity to get outside of your own little world and amongst other people your ages. So
yes.
When we were very first saved, we actually hosted a young adult ministry, and it was really, really healthy for us. It was very helpful for us to be able to have those friends, a place to go and kind of belong, a place that we all kind of wanted to study the Bible together and worship and also have fun. So super excited about that. Next, we're going to talk world records, because why not?
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. So the first world record that I have for you is actually about an airplane, and this one surprised me. But in 1958, two pilots took a plane and they flew it for 2 solid months. What they did was they had a truck that had gasoline, and they would get the plane low enough that they could refuel the plane every time it needed fueled. And they did this to set a world record, and it has still never been broke. So 1958, there is a world record for 2 pilots that flew a plane for 2 solid months. So I was actually thinking to myself, how did they go to the bathroom? How did they eat?
Yeah, that's such a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst world records ever set, and it will never be broken again in the history of the world because nobody
wants to.
Yeah, and that was in 58. Imagine how they had to use a bathroom. At least planes now have better bathrooms, but not planes that are slow enough to come down and have a truck fill it up.
Refuel it.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah. What a crazy record.
Yeah, so you can Google that if you want. There's even a great picture of how it was getting refueled. So
they can keep their record. Well
so
done,
you guys. So that's the first interesting world record. The next one is there is a world record for the longest mustache on a living human. And the record goes to Paul from South Carolina, and it was 2 feet long. A mustache, can you imagine? That was 2 feet long.
That I really feel like I can imagine that, and I thought it was going to be much longer.
Yeah.
2 feet. That's a long mustache. No doubt it looked really stupid, but I'm surprised for it being a world record. Someone didn't grow it down to the floor or something. But you know what? I actually think, I'm almost positive that at some point facial hair does stop growing. I don't think it's like the hair on someone's head that you can grow to the floor.
Yeah.
And so that might be just that was his max length. He just let it grow.
And it stopped.
Yeah. You think his wife liked it?
Probably not.
Do you think he had a wife?
I don't know. That's questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a world record, so
He
kudos
does,
to
yes.
Paul of South Carolina.
Yeah,
Way to go,
shout
man.
it out. I can tell you're already impressed by these world records, so I can't wait for you to hear the next one. Are you ready for it?
I am.
All right, because it belongs to a parrot.
Okay.
The fastest 5 meters on a scooter by a parrot.
Oh my gosh.
And he went 16.4 feet. There's also a picture of this little parrot and this scooter, and the scooter's actually really cute.
Oh my.
But I can't even imagine training a parrot to ride a scooter in the first place, let alone get it to go a whole 16 feet.
Yeah, that's a fun
So-
world record, and he deserves it. My guess is he didn't have a lot of competition,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it's still
He
really
probably didn't have a
impressive.
lot of competition.
That's my favorite world
Yeah.
record today so far.
Yeah. Well, all right. For this last one, it's actually a world record for who could place the most plastic straws in their mouth, and they didn't
sounds
use their
dangerous.
hands. Now,
That's even more dangerous.
I think it is dangerous. I almost got a bunch of plastic straws to see how many me and you could get in our mouth. But the world record is 650 straws, and it goes to a gentleman in India
That's insane.
in 2018. So, and they're those
Also-
colorful plastic straws that you think of when you go,
I like the parrot
Buy
world
straws.
record way better than that one.
yeah, that was your favorite?
Yeah, that one's
Well, at least
way
you
better.
liked one of them. Yep, got to get in that book somehow, and they're running out of things. So, world record for the plastic straws it was. All right, next up is highlights for September. We have had a busy September, but an amazing September nonetheless. And we did just get back from the Philippines. We had an amazing time. We started off in Batangas City and ended our trip in Manila. But rather than go over too much, we're actually going to highlight 2 different things. So you can share 2 highlights from Batangas, and then I will. And then we can share 2 highlights from Manila. So
Okay. So, a couple things that I really was blessed to see in Batangas. We spent and focused our time on mission churches this time around, and was blessed to see the devotion that these young pastors have starting new works in very difficult communities. Not dangerous difficult, but just poor difficult. There's no room. There's no space. There's no room for buildings. There they buy land by the square foot, or instead of acre. And so some of the challenges they had, and yet their committedness to reaching people for Jesus, no matter the circumstances, was probably the thing that stuck out to me the most.
okay.
And are you going to go?
Sure, I'll
Okay.
share one, and then you can share one again. One of the things that I absolutely loved the most was that I got to reconnect with a lot of people I hadn't seen in 7 years, and it's just amazing how God fills in the time, and that it's like, it hasn't been that long since you've seen someone, because we all love the same God, and we're all going after the same goals. And so it was really awesome for me, because it was a moment where I was able to reconnect with some relationships that I had started 7 years ago. So that was pretty awesome.
And my second thing, as you're going to see here, if you're watching some of the footage of the kids that we were able to start these programs with, I was especially blessed by the excitement of the kids to be part of these programs that we're trying to start. And we see this repeatedly when we travel and do different things around the world, that kids being raised in these high poverty areas are really grateful and thankful for the work that we do, the little that we're able to offer. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And so just blessed to see kids really appreciative for anything, and not spoiled by always getting what they want, when they want, how they want, more than they need. Instead, it's the exact opposite. And so when you just give a little help, it is such a huge blessing to these kids. And a lot of times it chokes me up when I see some kid that's just really grateful for something that we wouldn't even think about here back home. And so that's something that definitely stuck out to me in Batangas.
Awesome. The second thing that I want to share, and I could probably share like 50, but these were just some things that quickly came to my mind, was the amount of teenagers that were on the teams that were helping at each location that we went to. Just incredible. These teens that were there and they were ready to hop in and help wherever they needed, whatever that looked like. In the Philippines, they speak English, but some of them are not great at speaking it back to you yet. They understand it, but they have a hard time communicating back. And we had teens that would just hop right in and help us translate. We had teens that would help us get things set up, tore down, handing things out. They were just there and they were eager to help. And, that's a huge blessing to see the amount of teenagers at every single location that were just thriving and excited, just like the kids. And they're not even the ones that were signing up for the sponsorship program. And so it's neat, though. In fact, one of them shared, she said, I'm just so thankful that you're here because you are helping us. You're helping our community. You're helping us grow. And it was just neat because she saw the value in the investment with the sponsorship program, even as a young teenager. So it was pretty awesome.
All right, so then we moved up to Manila.
Yes.
Spent some time in Manila, and what's the topic? It's
2 highlights.
2 highlights of Manila.
Yeah.
So let's.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the highlights from my trip / unforgettable moments was Joplin and I were supposed to stay with the pastor and his wife, and we really, really wanted to, but they had a loose Cobra in their house. And so as we got picked up from the hotel they were picking us up from, quickly we learned that we had got a hotel, and Joplin and I were both like, well, wait, we thought we were staying with you in your house. And they said, well, circumstances changed a little because the tsunami that came in last week or a couple weeks ago must have brought in some snakes. And there is a loose Cobra in our house. So we're going to put you in the hotel.
Yeah.
So definitely an unforgettable moment.
And they're still living there.
Yes,
I mean, they had nowhere else to go.
Yes.
But so one of the relatives saw this Cobra by the refrigerator, and it was coiled up like it was going to strike, and they took a broomstick and tried to hit it, and it didn't kill it, and it just made it go mad, but it actually made it go hide behind the refrigerator. They were afraid to move it, so a few hours later, they finally got a bunch of people to move it, and then it wasn't there, and they couldn't find it. They thought might have left, and 3 days later, it showed up on a camera in the house, and so they knew it was there. And they said, yeah, you could stay, but every time you sit down, you need to check the seat cushions. When you get off the bed, you need to look under the bed. If you use a toilet, you need to look inside the toilet, And there was no way Andrea was staying in this house with a loose Cobra. So
no, I actually just want to save them all. I'm like, you guys can all stay in our hotel.
And they said the Cobras they have there are highly venomous, and that if you get bit, you got about 30 minutes to live.
Yeah. So that's definitely
first time we've ever not
highlights.
Been able to stay in a place because there's a Cobra just in the house.
Yeah.
That was a memorable moment for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my memorable moments, we did jail ministry there. And again, for those of you that are watching, you'll be able to see these guys, about 40 of them in a single cell. And they were shoulder to shoulder. There's you can't see it in the video here, but there's a toilet in the room. And that's it. And the conditions of the jails there are nothing that compared to here in America. Like, it wouldn't be allowed in America. And to be honest, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea if our jails weren't quite as nice and cush as they are, because people get comfortable living in them. But it was definitely shocking and memorable, and we had the opportunity to go and preach and share the gospel with the prisoners there, and then give them food as well. And so that was one of my memorable moments.
The second memorable moment that I have, gosh, there's just so many from both locations, but one of the things that I don't think I will ever forget is we went down and ministered to an area where kids were living amongst tombs. And it was really, really hard, just especially I think as a mom, to see all these kids that were just so comfortable with that. They were not afraid. They were climbing up and down on them. that was what they know is home. And so that was really hard. But on the flip side, I was really, really thankful because the ministry team that we were there with has invested into these communities, and they know that they love them and they know that they're there to help. But it was a moment that I will never forget. So
yeah, and then in addition to that, for me, the other thing was we did homeless ministry, and there are a lot of children that live on the streets in Manila. It's a different scenario than back here in America. The kids are not just immediately taken away from the parents. And in fact, some of them live on the streets with their parents. Their parents are homeless. We ran into several mothers that were living with their children on the streets. And we were able to spend some time with them, pray with them, get them some food. And it's something that the ministry we partner with in Manila does on a regular basis. But it was definitely heart-wrenching thinking about being a child and being raised in that type of poverty, both there, the squatters at the tombs, and then the kids that are just living, they don't even have homes to squat in, that are living on the streets there, homeless. So if you're interested in helping us feed these kids, you can donate at extramilemissions.org. And if you will select the Manila mission, 100% of what's donated through there goes straight there. Like, we do not, all of the cost involved with our accountants and the stuff that it takes to keep up our website, run our organization, there are no portion of the fees that are designated that are used for any of that stuff. And so if you wanted to go give, $10 to the Manila mission, all $10 of it will go specifically to feeding kids in Manila. And so we would encourage you to pray about helping us do that every month. Maybe become a monthly donor. Maybe you just want to help with a one-time gift to send food over. But help us feed these kids.
And it's a great meal, too. It really is. It's a good meal. It has rice and chicken with it, and it comes in their own little container that each kid gets. And they provide them a drink every time they go out. And
yes. And we buy it all in bulk. We're able to get it at about $1 a meal. And that's a good meal. Some of the stuff previously, we were doing it about 50 cents a meal. But the full chicken and rice and drink for $1 is a really, really good deal. And so that's basically the number there. About $1 will feed a kid a full meal, chicken, rice, and a drink. So, hey, help us with it. I'm not afraid to ask for that. And I'm actually blessed by what's happening there in Manila, and encourage you, if that touches your heart at all, help. $5 a month, $10 a month, $50 a month, whatever you feel comfortable doing, whatever you can do, help us feed these kids, and know that all of them are getting the gospel as well.
Yeah.
It is not just a humanitarian effort. We are not just dropping food off and walking away. These kids are learning the gospel. They're learning Christian songs. They're part of small groups that meet on a regular weekly basis. And great cause. Yeah. Proud to be a part of it.
Yes. And shout it out to the Philippines. We're so grateful for what you're doing in all the areas.
Yes.
And it's awesome to see God working on the other side of the world. So it's amazing.
What's next?
All right. Well, next is we have a big tournament coming up. It's a disc golf tournament. So if you haven't heard information on it, we have some for you.
Yeah, this is a good tournament. It's a ton of fun. We call it the legendary Frisbee Golf Championship. And it's legendary because it's fun. It's legendary because we have the best prizes ever. Like this year, we've got championship belts, which you're not finding those out at disc golf tournaments unless it's the legendary Frisbee Golf Tournament.
That's right.
But what really makes it legendary is that the funds are used to help us at Extra Mile Missions do what we do. We have a lot of designated funds. Just like I mentioned, the Manila Fund, it's a designated fund. So when somebody gives to it, 100% of what they give goes straight to Manila, the ministry there. And we as an organization only one time a year do a fundraiser to help us cover our accountants and the administrative stuff that we have to do on our end in order to operate. And so this is a big deal for us. And we've got awesome sponsors, and we just need people to show up and play. You can register at extramilemissions.org. If you want to support just us generally, you can donate there as well. If you wanted to be a sponsor, you got to get with us pretty quick and let us know. But it's not too late to sponsor the event if you wanted to sponsor the event. It's a lot of fun. And we've got some special shirts.
We do. We have some special shirts.
Andrea, tell us, why are these shirts special?
All right, these shirts are special because not only are they legendary, but they also have a special note to our Frisbee disc golf nerds. So we did a commercial several weeks back promoting our event and how you don't actually have to be a MMA fighter to win this big massive belt, but even nerds can win it too. And so, good news, nerds, we now have t-shirts that you can buy that have our own merch stating Good News Nerds with the belt on back.
Wasn't even our idea. We had some people that thought that was so funny that said, hey, you've got to put it on the shirt. Mm-hmm. And so, Good News Nerds, now you can get a shirt that says Good News Nerds on
that's
it.
right. So,
and also support the cause.
Yeah. All profits will go towards the event. So
a lot of fun. Good event.
Yeah. And have you seen the legendary leaders?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's us if you didn't know.
That's right. We're pumped about it. It's going to be fun. Next up is we have several trips that are coming up. We have our December Christmas Honduras trip coming up, December 3rd through the 10th. We have Mexico Christmas trip, December 27th through the 30th. And then we have 2 backpack teams that'll head to Honduras to distribute backpacks on January 19th through the 26th. And then we have a following team that will leave the 26th and come back the 2nd of February. So if you're interested in any of those teams, you can log on. You can apply for some of them because there's still space in them. And if you're interested in one that's maybe full, you're still welcome to reach out to us and we can let you know if somebody cancels or if there happens to be a spot that you could use. So we're excited about all these things coming up. And
you can check them out at extramilemissions.org. Now, that's always the easiest thing to say, and it's the easiest thing to remember. But if you're doing it on your phone, the truth is the best and most easiest method is to download the app. If you download Extra Mile Missions, find our app, just type in those words in any app store. It's really a lot easier to use if you're using your cell phone to get the information you want. It's got all the information about the locations that we stay, upcoming events. It's just a better experience. If you don't want to download the app, you can always just go to extramilemissions.org. But through both, you'll be able to find out our upcoming trips, how to apply for a trip, donate if you want to donate,
golf
contact
information.
us, golf legendary championship information,
That's
all
right.
of it. You can find it at both places.
Yep. So I think that's all we have for you.
All right, guys. Well,
we hope you have a legendary weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic for us.
It is.
And okay, I think that's it, guys. God bless you. We appreciate your prayers, appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.